Hi guys, welcome to your 9.2 notes on quadratic functions. By the end of the day, you'll be able to graph quadratic functions of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The thing that makes this a quadratic function is quadratic, quad has like four, like squares have four sides. So just like a square has four sides, you have x squared, makes this a quadratic function. You already know how to graph. When you graph, you just take your rule and you say, okay, here's my x value, here's my y value that I get after I plug my x into my cool rule. So you can make an xy function like that if you want. That will 100% work all the time. Today I'm going to show you a shortcut. Okay. The first step of the shortcut is to find the axis of symmetry. Remember, the axis of symmetry will be this like dividey guy in the middle of your parabola, just like that. Okay, so the axis of symmetry will always be found at this, x equals negative b all over 2a. That's it. Yay. In fact, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make it orange. I changed my mind. I should have made this orange because do you know why? Well, I'll tell you. This guy is the key to the whole lesson. That's it. He's the key. Okay? So the axis of symmetry is found at the line x equals negative b over 2a. So because it's x equals something, it's going to be a vertical line. That's it. That's the axis of symmetry. Now the vertex, remember, is the point. It's the point where it changes directions. It's the point where the parabola meets the axis of symmetry. Now what do you notice about this? Well, first of all, it's a point, right? So it has to have an x value and it has to have a y value. But what do you notice? It's on the axis of symmetry, which means we need to take this key idea, and that's our x coordinate. I'm going to make that key itty bitty tiny little key. There you go. Still a key idea. And then you're going to take whatever that x value is, plug it through, bless you, your xy chart. And then that'll give you your y value. So I'm just going to put y something, whatever the y is. But your x is always going to be negative b over 2a. That's it. That's your key idea. Once you know the vertex, you can graph your parabola from there. Okay, so let's start out by finding the axis of symmetry and the vertex of y equals x squared minus 6x plus 4. Axis of symmetry, you'll remember our key idea is at negative b over 2a. So let's zoom in on here real quick. What's our a? What's our b? And what's our c? Well, a is always the first number. In this case, that's a 1. B is always the second number. In this case, it's a negative 6. And C is always the last number. In this case, it's a 4. The C actually isn't important for the axis of symmetry, but we still care about it because it's important to us. Oh, okay. Anyway. Bink. So in this case, that's going to be at negative 6 all over 2 times 1. A negative times a negative gives us a positive 6 over 2, which is 3. Oops. So we say our axis of symmetry is at x equals 3. Then the vertex is going to be some sort of x, y point, but we already know x is 3. And since we know x is 3, we just need to plug 3 in for x and see what we get. So that'll give us 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 4, which is 9 minus 18 plus 4 is negative 5. So there's our vertex. Now we can graph a parabola. Look, it's the same one. You're welcome. I did that on purpose. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so first let's graph the axis of symmetry. That's always the first step. First step, graph. I never wrote axis of symmetry. Axis of sim. I'm abbreviating. So that's fun. X equals 3. We're going to find where x equals 3. We're going to put a nice dashed line on it. Yay! So fun. We also know the coordinates of our vertex. Our vertex is at 3, -5. Oh, guys, just kidding. I got ahead of myself. Did I? No, I didn't. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna do this the other way. So we know it's over 3. That's nice. And we go down 5. So we start an axis of symmetry. We go down 5 right here, which means our, oh no, come back to me. What? Okay, well, whatever. So we know our vertex is at 3, -5. Nice. Now that we know where our vertex is, we can take our XY chart. Oh, I skipped instructions. Graph axis of symmetry. Graph vertex. I guess graphing is kind of a misnomer. It's just label the vertex. Really. And then finally, we're going to do an XY chart near the vertex. But watch this. Okay, so we're at 3, right? Well, what happens when x equals 2? If we make an x, figure out what our y is. I will show you a fun little shortcut. Okay, if our x is 2, that gives us 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 4, which is -12. What? No, that's wrong. That's so wrong. What did I do wrong? -4. And if we keep going with our easy numbers, oops, 1, 0, we get 1 minus 6 is -5 plus 4 is -2. Right? 1 minus 6 is -1. Man, guys, I gotta show my work. I didn't even make notes. I was like, I can graph this. How hard could that possibly be? Is -5 plus 4 is -1. This is 4. Don't worry, guys. I can do that. If you find an error, point it out. I'll give you extra credit. Okay, so we go over 2, down 4, over 1, down 1, over 0, up 4. Yay, we have half a parabola. But guys, half a parabola is all we need. Why? Because we have got our axis of symmetry. This guy right here tells you, hey, you can mirror it. So as we reflect over our axis of symmetry, we went up 1 over 1, or rather, over here, we take 1 away from the axis of symmetry, so we move 1 further, because that's the same. So we put a point there. Up here, we're at 2 away from the axis of symmetry, so we go 2 away. So there's a point there as well. We're reflecting over our, I'm going to leave those in, our axis of symmetry. Here we are 1, 2, 3 away, so we go 1, 2, 3 more. So we've got a point right there. And then lo and behold, look at this beautiful, awesome, amazing parabola. So you make an XY chart for some points near the vertex, and then reflect over the axis of symmetry. Nope, I can't even spell over correctly. Isn't that great? So that's how to graph really fast. Let's do one more. Okay. If you want to just do a big ol' XY chart, that's great, but you're kind of in the blind. So you're always welcome to do an XY chart from the start. It's cool because it rhymes. Because math is cool all the time. You're welcome to do an XY chart from the very beginning, but you're kind of blind because you don't know where to start. A good place to start is on the axis of symmetry. Remember, your axis of symmetry is your key idea. X equals negative b all over 2a. Okay. So here our a is negative 1, our b is 4, our c is negative 2, which gives us a negative 4 all over 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, which is a positive 2. So we're at x equals 2. That was just like the last one, but one less. So that's fun. Now we need to find the vertex. How do we know what the vertex is? Well, I've got half of it. The x-coordinate is the same as the axis of symmetry, giving us x equals 2. Now we just need to plug that in through the rule. So we have negative x squared plus, 4 times our rule minus 2. So we need to take our x value and plug it in there. Awesome. Okay, sorry, I got like way ahead. So we've got 2 and 2, giving us negative 2 squared is 4, plus 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2, which is 4, minus 2, which is 2. Man, what's up with all these 2's? I don't know. Okay, so that gives us a vertex at 2, 2. Making all the ballerinas proud. Oh, we gotta label it. 2, 2. Now we need to make the next XY chart near the vertex. Always go with your smaller numbers. I'm going to keep working backwards because it's easier to work with 2 and 1 and negative 1 than it is for 3, 4, and 5. And then I can always reflect over that axis of symmetry. So what happens when x is 1, 0, and negative 1? Well, we get negative 1 plus 4 is 3, minus 2 is 1. We get negative 2, and we get negative 1 minus 4 minus 2 is negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. That de-escalated quickly. Hey, let's put them on our chart, or graph. So we have 1, 1, 0, negative 2, and negative 1, negative 7. Wow, that's so good. Awesome. Last up, we can reflect over that axis of symmetry. So let's go ahead and do that. We went 1, so let's go 1 in the opposite direction. We went 2, so let's go 2 in the opposite direction. We went, oh boy, what is that? That should be 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Finishing out our parabola, we have a beautiful graph. And that's it. Key idea right here. Have a wonderful time on your homework.